Mixed signals don't mean she's playing games. They mean she's testing if you're real. Stay calm, stay grounded, and she'll show you her true side. If you're ready to understand women on a deeper, more powerful level, hit that subscribe button because this is where men learn emotional mastery. When a woman sends mixed signals, it's rarely about trying to confuse you. Most of the time, it's a reflection of what's happening inside her, a battle between her emotions and her fears. You have to understand that attraction for a woman isn't just about how you look or what you say. It's about how she feels around you. She can like you deeply, but still feel uncertain, scared, or even conflicted. That's what creates the inconsistency that so many men mistake for games. Women experience emotions more dynamically than men do. When she feels connected, she might lean in, open up, flirt, or act affectionate. But when fear or doubt kicks in, she can just as easily pull away, seem cold, or go silent. It's not because her feelings disappeared overnight. It's because her emotions are shifting while she tries to understand what's safe and what's not. You have to remember that for many women, trust doesn't come instantly. Her interest may be genuine, but her instincts are wired for protection. She's constantly evaluating, not in a logical checklist way, but emotionally. Can I trust him with my heart? Will he still respect me if I show vulnerability? Is he who he appears to be? These are the quiet, hidden questions running in the background of her mind. That's why she might say she likes you, but then hesitate when it's time to get closer. That's why she might flirt and then act distant the next day. It's not inconsistency, it's her subconscious way of making sure she's safe before she invests. Most men misread this emotional push and pull. They take her hesitation as a sign that she's playing games or losing interest. So they start reacting, chasing harder, over-explaining, or demanding clarity. But all of that only confirms her fears. Because now, instead of seeing you as calm and grounded, she sees emotional instability. You're no longer a safe presence. You've become another man driven by anxiety, not confidence. And that kills attraction faster than anything. The truth is, when a woman is in emotional conflict, the best thing a man can do is not try to fix it. He doesn't need to decode every text or mirror every mood. He just needs to stay consistent, steady, and patient. When you understand that her mixed signals are just emotional waves, you stop reacting and start leading. You recognize that she's not sending those signals to hurt you. She's expressing an inner uncertainty that only time and trust can calm. And the more you meet that uncertainty with confidence, the more she begins to relax. Because women don't fall for the man who tries to control their emotions. They fall for the man whose energy makes them feel safe enough to stop overthinking. That's the difference between attraction that fades and attraction that deepens. So the next time a woman's signals seem confusing, don't ask, "What's wrong with her?" Instead, ask, "Can I remain calm while she finds her balance?" That's the mindset that separates boys from men. And confusion from connection. When a woman starts acting inconsistent, one day showing affection and the next day seeming distant, it's easy to assume she's being manipulative or playing games. But more often than not, those mixed signals are her way of testing something deeper than your patience. She's testing your emotional safety. Every woman, consciously or subconsciously, wants to feel safe in a man's presence. Not just physically safe, but emotionally safe. She wants to know if she can trust you with her feelings, her vulnerability, her softness. Because for a woman, opening up emotionally isn't small, it's risk. And before she allows herself to fall, she'll test the foundation beneath her to see if it's stable. Those tests come in subtle forms. She might go quiet after being affectionate. She might pull back just to see how you respond. or she might act uncertain after showing interest. To most men, this feels frustrating or confusing. But to her, it's her instinct doing what it's supposed to do, making sure she's not giving her heart to the wrong man. Think of it like this. When she sends mixed signals, she's not trying to trick you, she's observing you. She's watching how you handle inconsistency, uncertainty, and emotional shifts. If your reaction is calm, patient, and confident, she begins to feel safe. If you start chasing harder, demanding explanations, or taking her distance personally, she feels emotionally unsafe. And her walls go up even higher. It's not that she enjoys the push and pull, it's that she's learning what your energy feels like under pressure. A grounded man doesn't take her testing as rejection. He sees it as a natural part of emotional connection. A woman who's been hurt before will test harder. She'll watch your tone when she withdraws. She'll notice if you stay consistent when she needs space. And she'll remember how you make her feel when she's unsure. Those little moments are where trust is built or broken. Most men fail not because they lack attraction, but because they lack composure. They let her confusion trigger theirs, and soon it becomes an emotional storm where both lose balance. But when a man can remain steady even in her uncertainty, he becomes something rare, a source of emotional security. When she feels safe, her walls start to fall naturally. The mixed signals fade, replaced by openness and connection. She stops testing because she realizes she doesn't have to. That's the irony. Women test the most when they want to believe in you but aren't sure if they can. If you fail the test by reacting, she pulls away. If you pass it by staying grounded, she draws closer. Emotional safety isn't built through perfect words or constant reassurance. It's built through presence, the kind of presence that doesn't waver when things get confusing. So when she sends mixed signals, don't panic or chase. Just stay calm, consistent, and confident. That's how she learns you're not just another man seeking validation. You're the man she can finally trust. When a woman starts sending mixed signals, most men instinctively react by chasing harder. They send more texts, ask what's wrong, or try to convince her of their intentions. But what they don't realize is that this reaction often pushes her further away. Women don't respond to pressure, they respond to presence. They don't fall for the loudest man, they fall for the calmest one. The moment you start chasing, you shift the power dynamic. You go from being the grounded, attractive man she was drawn to the man who's now seeking her approval. And that change doesn't just lower her attraction, it confirms her fears that you might not be as emotionally stable as she hoped. You have to understand something powerful about female attraction. Women are drawn to consistency, not confusion. When she sends mixed signals, it's her way of observing how consistent you can remain when things get uncertain. Every man looks confident when things are easy, when she's texting, laughing, or showing affection. But real confidence is tested when she becomes distant or emotionally unpredictable. The man who stays calm in those moments sends a strong message. I don't need to chase because I trust my value. That kind of energy is magnetic. It tells her you're not controlled by emotion or insecurity. You're centered, grounded, and sure of yourself. When she pulls away and you start chasing, she doesn't feel desired. She feels pressured. Women are emotional beings. They don't always know exactly why they pull back, but they feel when a man reacts out of fear instead of confidence. The more you push for reassurance, the more she feels like she's losing emotional space. What once felt natural now feels forced. But when you give her room, when you show her that you won't crumble or overreact, she starts to feel something most men never make her feel. Peace. That peace is what creates deep attraction. The truth is, women test not to manipulate, but to reveal. They want to see how a man handles uncertainty, how he reacts to not being in control. If your self-worth depends on her attention, you'll fail that test every time. But if your self-worth comes from within, her inconsistency won't shake you. You'll stay kind, composed, and present without trying to fix or force anything. That's the energy that separates men who get stuck in confusion from men who create connection. When a woman feels your steadiness, she begins to relax. She doesn't have to overthink or pull back because she knows you're not going anywhere emotionally. That's when her guard lowers and her affection becomes genuine again. So instead of chasing her when she sends mixed signals, do the opposite. Stay still. Stay confident. Stay certain. Because real men don't chase attention, they attract trust. And the man who stays calm when everything feels uncertain is the one she ultimately can't walk away from. Sometimes when a woman sends mixed signals, it's not because she's playing games or testing you. It's because she genuinely doesn't know what she feels yet. Emotions aren't logical, and attraction doesn't always follow a straight path. She might like you, feel drawn to you, but also sense hesitation, fear, or confusion. In today's world, where dating moves faster than emotional readiness, many women find themselves caught between interest and uncertainty. They meet someone who seems right, but their mind hasn't caught up with their heart yet. That's when the signals start to look inconsistent. She reaches out one day and pulls away the next. But it's not always about you. Sometimes it's about what she's trying to figure out inside herself. Modern dating adds layers of noise to a woman's emotional process. Social media, past heartbreaks, external expectations. All of it creates emotional clutter. A woman might feel chemistry with you but still be dealing with emotional baggage from someone before you. Maybe she's comparing how she feels now to what she once felt, or maybe she's afraid of repeating old mistakes. That uncertainty can make her behavior seem unpredictable. But beneath that, she's not trying to mislead you, she's trying to understand herself, and that takes time. The worst mistake most men make in this phase is taking her uncertainty personally. When she slows down communication or acts distant, they assume they've done something wrong. They start chasing, questioning, or trying to convince her to stay connected. But that only adds pressure to an already confused mind. What she actually needs isn't convincing, it's patience. She needs space to let her emotions settle and see what feels real. A man who respects that process stands out from all the others who try to rush it. When you give a woman space, you're telling her, I trust that if this is meant to connect, it will. That energy feels safe and confident. You're not fighting for her attention. You're allowing her to meet you halfway. And that balance is what often transforms confusion into clarity. The truth is, women don't always fall for the man who makes them feel butterflies immediately. They fall for the man who makes them feel emotionally safe enough to explore those butterflies without pressure. So when she seems unsure, don't react with frustration. Don't start overanalyzing every move. Instead, stay calm, stay kind, and stay consistent. Let her come to her own conclusions. If her emotions are real, they'll always find their way back to you. And even if they don't, you'll walk away with your self-respect intact, knowing you didn't beg for love. You created the space for it to grow naturally. Because genuine connection isn't built on chasing, it's built on understanding. And when a woman feels understood instead of pressured, her confusion turns into trust. And that trust is the foundation of something real. Many men forget that women have egos and fears just like they do. When a woman sends mixed signals, it's often because she's protecting herself from rejection or judgment. Deep down, she might like you, but she's afraid of showing it too soon and getting hurt. Society has conditioned many women to believe that being too available or too expressive makes them seem desperate or weak. So instead of showing clear interest, They hide it behind distance, sarcasm, or indifference. They act like they don't care because caring feels risky. It's not that she doesn't feel something, it's that she's afraid to reveal it first. Her pride, her past, and her fears all work together to make her cautious. Every woman has a story. Maybe she opened up too soon in the past and got rejected. Maybe she trusted a man who used her vulnerability against her. Or maybe she simply learned that being too honest about her emotions can make her feel exposed. So when she sends you signals that seem inconsistent, you're seeing her defense mechanism in action. She might smile when she's with you, then act distant later. Not because she's lost interest, but because she's trying to protect her heart. For her, keeping emotional control feels safer than risking rejection. And sometimes those mixed signals are her way of holding on to that control. The problem is that most men misinterpret this. They take her guardedness as a sign of disinterest or manipulation, and they either pull away too soon or start chasing for reassurance. But the truth is, the more pressure you put on her to prove her feelings, the more she retreats. A woman needs to feel emotionally safe before she can fully open up. That means she needs to sense that your confidence doesn't depend on her validation. When she realizes that you don't need her to confirm your worth, she starts to feel comfortable being herself. That comfort slowly dissolves her ego's need for control, and she begins to show her authentic emotions. Men often think attraction is built by doing or saying the right things. But with women, it's often built by what you don't do, by not overreacting, not begging for attention, and not letting her mixed signals shake your composure. When she sees that you can handle her uncertainty with patience and calm energy, she feels something powerful: trust. And once trust enters the picture, ego fades. Her need to protect herself starts to disappear because she knows she's dealing with a man who won't use her vulnerability against her. So when a woman seems guarded or inconsistent, don't try to break through her walls with pressure. Instead, let your consistency do the work. Show her that you're stable, grounded, and emotionally strong enough to handle both her warmth and her hesitation. Because once she realizes that your presence is safe, she'll stop hiding behind pride. Her signals will stop being mixed, and her emotions will finally become clear, honest, and real. Confidence is the one quality that cuts through every layer of confusion a woman might have. When a man is confident, not arrogant, not controlling, but truly grounded, he changes the entire dynamic. Mixed signals stop being a mystery, because his response to them creates emotional clarity. Women are naturally drawn to men who remain calm under pressure, who don't lose their center when things get confusing. That steadiness feels safe, it feels masculine, and it feels trustworthy. When a woman sends mixed signals, it's her way of seeing whether a man's emotions are stronger than hers. If he can stay calm while she's uncertain, she knows he's someone who can handle real connection. But if he becomes anxious, needy, or reactive, it tells her that his confidence was surface level. The truth is, emotional control is the most powerful form of attraction. When a woman becomes distant or inconsistent, she's not waiting for you to fix it. She's watching how you handle it. Do you start questioning her every move? Do you send paragraphs trying to explain your worth? Or do you remain present and composed, letting her know through your energy that you're not easily shaken? Confidence doesn't chase, it invites. It doesn't force clarity, it creates it. A confident man doesn't try to decode her emotions, he lets her reveal them in her own time, because he understands that his value doesn't depend on her current mood. Women subconsciously crave that kind of stability. They want to feel like they can be emotional without being judged or smothered. When you can stay calm in the face of uncertainty, you give her permission to trust you. She realizes she doesn't need to perform, test, or protect herself. That's when her mixed signals begin to fade. Because your emotional steadiness gives her emotional safety. It's the same reason confident men rarely have chaotic relationships. Their calmness sets the tone, and women mirror that energy back. Confidence also means knowing when to walk away. It's not just about patience, it's about boundaries. A confident man doesn't tolerate endless confusion or emotional games. He's open but not naive. He communicates clearly but never begs for connection. That balance of strength and restraint is magnetic because it shows self-respect. Women are deeply attracted to men who can love deeply but never lose themselves in the process. When you show that kind of emotional maturity, her behavior automatically becomes more honest and consistent because she knows she can't manipulate or destabilize you. In the end, confidence is what turns mixed signals into mutual understanding. It doesn't require you to read her mind. It requires you to master your own emotions. When you're calm, she feels calm. When you're certain, she feels safe. When you're grounded, she feels free to open up. And that's the ultimate truth. Women stop sending mixed signals when they finally meet a man who doesn't need to interpret them, because his presence alone says everything she's been waiting to feel. You're safe here.